We go then. It's Hong Kong versus Korea, match 3 on day 2 of leg 3. Hong Kong looking to close out the pool in second spot behind Japan. Yesterday, Hong Kong beat Sri Lanka 29-0. Then they were beaten soundly by Japan 31-7. And South Korea, well, they were beaten 46-0 by Japan. And then they scored themselves a couple of good meat pies against Sri Lanka, going down 26-10. So it'll be Hong Kong looking to build some momentum. They will be facing China in the quarter semi-final if they win this match. And of course, to remind you as we look at the Korean side here, there are 3 spots up for grabs based on the final outcome of the series to participate in the HSBC World Series qualifiers in Hong Kong in April next year. There's Liang Liao-Wei from Singapore, our referee. With China going on the series, it's almost sorted out already. It will be Japan, Kazakhstan and Hong Kong that take those spots. But what really matters now is who wins this tournament and can anyone stop Japan from the clean sweep. Korea, the improvers, over their 3 or 4 legs now that they've been on the series. As Hong Kong with some early possession, Natasha Olsen-Thorne takes on the defence. It's a good tackle by Lim though. Vardy gets a start. Look at that up front tackle there from Min. That's good defence. They've come out of the blocks, the Koreans. And eventually a little knock on by Hong Kong. So good starting defence there by the Koreans. They look very crisp and clean and fresh in that white and blue strip, don't they?
Well, they've had the good laundry service overnight, clearly, haven't they? They've done terribly well. No, it's a good fight between these 2 programs. The long-established sevens program from Hong Kong, which got the major upgrade when Hall of Famer Anna Richards came in to lay the foundations for the future. But this Korean side are fascinating. Rapid improvers.
More good defence on Olsen-Thorne. They've wrapped up her so far in her first 2 touches. Here goes Melody Lee. Hong Kong probing. They'll have a big job on their hands later on against China. Stephanie Chan off the left. Guan gets the hands on her. They're sticking to their tackles so far. Vardy in at dummy half. There's a bit of space for Olsen-Thorne. This time they won't stop her. She's going to go in untouched. 3rd touch of the ball for the skipper. She bags the first try for Hong Kong on day 2.
Tidy work from Hong Kong. They just kept the pace and the rhythm going. Look at that. Good strength. Melody Lee, she created some good plays. It's brought this ball back to the open channels for Natasha Olsen-Thorne, who looks to be covering the ground very nicely this morning. Looking light on her feet. Conversion attempt unsuccessful. I got a sense of good feeling here for Hong Kong. A sense of performance coming up. It's going to make a lot of people very happy back in the 8-5-2.
Back at the bottom, Aggie Poon's also out there on the far side. Used more of a substitute strike weapon these days. Melody Lee, that's what she did in Hong Kong, and that one just hasn't gone the 10. She was brilliant in Hong Kong at those restarts. Gets up in the air for that one, but just a couple of inches short. Korea with a chance here through Lee. And their 2 tries they scored yesterday were very good indeed. There's Lim, number 1, who worked her way into the tournament as well. No release in the tackle. They nearly beat Hong Kong in Korea going down 15 points to 10 at home. Really sterling effort from the Koreans. There's Yang right on the halfway and holding on this time. So quick and over the ball.
Make sure the ball leaves your hands, all right?
Sham. Koreans' fitness also improving as they go on in the series. They stick at it for the whole 14. Stephanie Chan just causes some confusion between the defenders who look at each other, and she's done that beautifully as Chan. What confidence just to launch yourself at the line like that. Got some real toe. Second try of the tournament, and the defenders are still looking at each other.
Oh, good set-piece move from Hong Kong. Lindsay Vardy taking the tap, fading back, finding Chan, who had two runners either side. The extra 2 points taken by Chan. She converts her own try. But here we go. Vardy fades back. Chan gets on the gas. Now, what you don't see in that picture are the two runners either side of her distracting the Korean line, effectively only making it a one-on-one. And she didn't need didn't need much of an invitation at all, really. Just a hint of a gap. And Chan was gone, baby, gone.
Watch Melody Lee here try and get after this one. That's a better one from Chance. A little too deep for the chasers. Vardy's the first player on the scene. Gets one in the mush from Lee. Eventually pulls her down just over the 10 metre. Yang fires that one off, and here comes Kyung Hee. We saw yesterday 7 Guan really score a couple of long-range tries. She's out on the wing now. She's one of the finds. Here goes Aggie Poon now. She's just weaving her way along and flicks one out to Chan Chi Ching, and try number 2 for Hong Kong.
Oh, positive period of attack for Hong Kong. Nice to see Aggie Poon operating in the middle of the park. Heavy strapping on those knees.
Yep.
Not a bad nudge either.
No, you're holding on to the ball. Yep.
She just now, Poon, draw, and pass, manages to get on that outside channel nicely. Commits Lee across, there's not much she can do about it. And Guan, relative newcomer to the trade. It's not easy to know what's going on when it's all happening as quick as it is.
Chan changes direction, puts one up for Olsen Thorne. Again, it's just a couple of metres too deep as Hio brings it up to the 10 metre. Just pinned in their own half so far for this game, and Lee just reaching forward for that one. She was only half committed to it, knocked it on. Chan now. Chan gets another shot at it. The two Chans combining there. Stephanie and Chan Chi Ching. Good straight line from Olsen Thorne. Drags Min along behind her in her slipstream. Coming in as Lee, but it's too slow. Vardy to Poon, and the kick pass. I don't think that went exactly as to plan, but can she beat the defender? Over in the corner go Hong Kong for try number 4. Not sure that was the plan, but Kwong gets on the end of it.
Well, all plans are subject to change. It's only too well know here in the commentary position. Poon can't add the 2. And Hong Kong go to the break in a fairly comfortable position at the moment. 22 points to 0, the official halftime score here at the Asia Rugby 7 series in Hong Kong. Now, opening try, they managed it to get wide to Natasha Olsen Thorne. That was after some good play on the other side by Melody Lee. Here's Chan's try. You just see Melody Lee drifting up on the outside of her and creating some confusion for the defenders. Chan was through, lickety split. Aggie Poon next in line and able to run unchecked. They put Chan away in the corner. And the old kick pass from Aggie Poon. And possibly a little bit lucky, but I guess you train all weekend, or train all week to pull off the big plays.
That was Kwong's third try of the tournament. Puts her up right at the top of the try scorers. We're on Facebook, asia.rugby. We are on Instagram, Asia Rugby Live. If Instagram is your thing, there's some fantastic shots being put up on Instagram from all tiers of rugby across Asia. And on Twitter at Asia Rugby. So, Kevin West has been into the huddle, as has Coach Cho from the Koreans. Korea stuck to the bottom of the log with just 2 points after 2 rounds. They'll have their eyes on beating Singapore today, perhaps. But even if they can beat them in a 7th, 8th playoff, it won't be enough to keep them off the bottom. Here goes Lee. They've got some advantage to come here. Up comes the Hong Kong defence and chews up about 20 metres here. Just swallowed that up. Oh, here's a good run coming in from Hio. Beats the tackle of Poon.
Tap the ball, tap the ball.
So even though they were way behind the gain line, able to
Tap the ball, leave your head.
get some go forward there. Beats one tackle. Big athlete Hio in 10. This is Yang. Gives one out to Lee. Takes on Chan, one of the try scorers, who chops her down in a beautiful tackle. Hard up against that touchline there. It squirts out the side, but knocked on by one of the Hong Kong players. 22 points to 0. 4 very nice tries in the first half to Hong Kong.
Girls have a gap before set, alright? So crouch tight, have a gap, and
They'll
set.
need to take
Okay?
momentum and
Crouch.
confidence forward
Fine.
into their semi-final against China, who were
Set.
unbelievable earlier on, beating Singapore, putting 50 points on them. Here come the Koreans though, looking for a gap. This is one of their strike runners. She gets taken in a good tackle. That's a bit loose over the head there of Lee, and they're just going backwards. Still got the ball though, importantly, as Lim tidies that up and gives it to Yang, gives it back to Lee, and good stepping off the right there, beats a couple of tackles. Got some well-balanced runners when they get going. It's just putting them into space at the right time in the right place of the field. Turnover though to Poon there. She just got herself amongst the runners. That was a cheap turnover really. Here is Poon again, straightens up. Looks for Jung, who's on in 5, and a forward pass. So slow start to the second half for Hong Kong. 2.5 minutes into it, no scores. Welcome all our viewers from around the world, especially those supporting these two teams. You see Linda Olsen online. Hello Linda, good to have you with us. And Sylvia Pang, and also plenty of Korean supporters too. I'd like to read your names, but I can't. Thanks for joining us.
Fine.
We had a wonderful time in Korea 2 weeks ago. The weather was gorgeous.
Pull your weight, crouch. Bind, I need a gap.
Autumn colours starting to settle
Alright?
around Incheon
Pull your weight.
and Namdong Asiad
Crouch.
Stadium was a
Fine.
real treat.
Set.
Lovely cool air, Boozer. The sensation of cold air on your skin is, wow, it's wonderful.
Yeah, we had hot legs in Hong Kong, and it's pretty warm here as well. Korea, it always seems to be sunny and massive blue sky. Good defence there from Chong Ka-Yan there. She stuck to task. Hong Kong looking for their first try in the second half. Chan to Stephanie Chan. Here goes Sham Wai Sum. She's got some pace. Hooks up with Stephanie Chan. That's great support running on the inside shoulder. Try number 2 for her. And finally, they breached the Korean defence there. Send it swinging right across the field with 2 or 3 passes. Stretched the Koreans until they were full of holes. And she beats Guam to the line for try number 2. One of the young developing players, Stephanie Chan. Can't nail the extras on her own.
Just take a look now at the form of Hong Kong. Passes out in front, good technique. Good strong line challenge. Really, Korea just guilty of hanging off the Hong Kong ball runners there. They could have got right in their faces and suffocated them for time and options, but in the end, Hong Kong just able to move it too freely.
Double knock on.
It's a great take from the restart by Lim, and one, she took it well and she unloaded it straight away. She could see the runners coming. That's an area they've improved, is just handling those restarts, where last year they just couldn't diffuse a single restart. They would just give the ball straight back every time to whoever they were playing, and that was a key area for them to improve on. Finally win themselves some possession. Scrum though for Hong Kong, and Vardy gets it away. Chosfold's on the field now. She decides that there's not enough space there. Brings it back the other way. Here's Jessica Ho in 7. Vardy's on the spot as always. There's a couple of players to beat here for Jung, and she nearly gets it up to Vardy. It's gone forward though in the tackle. Jung beats the first and just loses control of it in the tackle there. Referee right on the spot to call that one. This is Lim coming off.
Focus. Time on. Crouch.
Coming up to the final minute
Fine.
of this final
Set.
full match in the women's side of the draw, before we then sort out the nitty-gritty for the knockouts. This is Park Soo-ji on. Really pushed up against their goal line. It's a difficult task to get out of there, but they put the boot on it and get about 25 metres. See the breeze there on the flag. It's just enough to keep the heat in moderation. It's been raining overnight quite heavily, but this track is in good shape. Perfect for rugby. Vardy goes up. Chosfold. She's been busy since she came on. Lee tries to get Vardy. She gets some help coming in from Min. Stephanie Chan pops it out to Chong Ka-Yan. That's a good tackle from Park. Just grabs her by the shirt and slows her down. Guan comes in and helps her. Here we have Sham off to Chosfold, this time with the little chip. That's a good move, and the streaming through come the runners. It's Jung. Oh no, she's gone for the miracle pickup. She had time just to stop, steady herself and pick it up. Not sure if she thought there was someone behind. It was her own player that was right on her tail. Probably heard the footsteps. And she's blowing them one year. Jung Sin, Ao Jung, sorry.
So 27 points, juniors.
That is the final score, in fact. So the final chance goes a right miss. That was just the one try in the second half. And it was through Kwong getting her third try of the tournament here. That was the fourth and final try of the first half. And this is the Solitude try in the second half. It was Stephanie Chan back on the inside. There she comes, steamrolling through. Beautifully timed run. And they've won this game against South Korea. 27 points to nil. Here's the table then after we conclude all the pool play. Japan there, 3 from 3, followed up by Hong Kong, who take out second spot. So they will go through to the semi-finals. Sri Lanka and Korea, they will make their way down to the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th playoffs. And as I said, Korea will be just battling to avoid that 8th spot. And in the other pool, Pool D, China there with that superior points difference after the absolute walloping of Singapore 52-0. So it'll be China who face Hong Kong, Kazakhstan who face Japan, Thailand, Singapore, they go down to face Sri Lanka and South Korea.